Performance Max can put your products on Google Search, Shopping, YouTube, and Maps all in one campaign. Sounds like the easy button for your e-commerce store, right? Not quite. Give Google the wrong tracking or launch with weak creative and it will light your budget on fire. Real question is, will a new Performance Max campaign find new customers? Or will it just take credit from people who are gonna buy anyway? You have to run PMax the right way. Hi, I'm Brandon, and at my agency, we run Performance Max campaigns for all of our e-commerce clients. For one client, a nonprofit, we started a campaign with a reasonable 5 or 6 return on ad spend, or ROAS. And a year later, it runs 10 times ROAS consistently. And Performance Max is a big reason why. In this video, I'm gonna show you what Performance Max actually is, what assets you need to give Google so that your campaign soars, and the one overlooked setting that reveals whether your campaign is just collecting easy sales from people who are already going to buy. But before we do that, I want you to think about a universal remote control. You can control your TV, your soundbar, your streaming box, and more, all from one device. And it sounds great, but out of the box, it does nothing. It just doesn't know your devices that you own. You have to program the remote. Performance Max acts the same way. It can show ads across Google's entire network: search, shopping, YouTube, Gmail, Maps, display, discover. But before you hand over your budget, you have to program the remote. You give it one budget, one bidding strategy, one goal, and a set of products and creative assets. Then Google's AI decides where your ads show, who sees them, how much to bid, and which assets to run. That is powerful. But it also means Performance Max is not the campaign where you just toss in a few images, click publish, and let Google figure out the rest. You can blow up your budget in a bad way if you don't program Performance Max campaigns correctly. And that brings us to the foundation. Tracking and Merchant Center, get these right first. Before you launch, 2 things have to be right: your conversion tracking and your Merchant Center feed. Let's start with the tracking. For an e-commerce store, Performance Max should optimize for completed purchases, not add to cart, not begin checkout, purchases. If you tell Google that add to cart is a conversion, it will happily find people who add to cart and disappear forever. Google doesn't have your business judgment. It only knows what you tell it. So set the purchase as your primary conversion action and make sure the actual purchase value passes back into Google. That part is big. A $30 order and a $500 order are very different. If Google can't see the difference, it cannot optimize around it. So when Google sees the purchase value, it can make smarter decisions about which clicks, which products, which customers are actually worth more to your business. Bidding matters here too. If you choose maximize conversions, Google chases volume. For most e-commerce stores, maximize conversion value is really better. It tells Google to focus on the total value of purchases, not just the number of sales. Now for the product feed. Your Merchant Center feed is what Google uses to understand what you sell: titles, descriptions, prices, availability, images, shipping, returns. And this feed has a huge impact on how well the PMax campaign runs. So before you launch, make sure your products are approved in Google Merchant Center. No disapprovals, no missing prices, no broken images, no products listed as in stock on the Merchant Center but out of stock on your site. Messy product feeds means Google makes decisions with messy information, wrong searches, weak product details, ads for products that aren't ready to sell. Performance Max is only as good as the information it's working with. Assets, not a junk drawer. So a lot of store owners treat assets like an afterthought. They upload a few random images, write 3 basic headlines, they say the same thing, they skip the video and wonder why the campaign doesn't perform. Your assets are the ingredients Google uses to build ads across those different placements. So weak ingredients equals weak results. Start with text. Google gives you room for multiple short headlines, long headlines, and descriptions. So write headlines that cover different reasons someone might buy. If you sell dog beds, think about comfort, older dogs, large breeds, washable covers, free shipping. One shopper wants to support an aging dog. Another is tired of cheap beds that flatten in 2 weeks. Another needs something easy to clean. It's the same product, but different reasons to care. For images, variety matters. Clean product photos, lifestyle shots, the product in use, scale shots, before and after. If you sell apparel, show someone wearing it, the fit, the texture, the color in real light, and keep important text away from the edges of your images. Google crops images differently across placements. Upload a square logo and a horizontal logo, clean and readable. Your brand shows in many contexts, so give Google versions that actually look good on all of them. For video, don't skip it. Performance Max can show on YouTube and Shorts. Video gives the campaign more room to operate. Google can auto-generate videos if you don't upload your own, and sometimes those are fine, but whenever possible, upload your own video. Show the product, show the benefit, show it in motion. A simple 15-second video is almost always better than letting Google guess. Also, keep each asset group focused. Everything inside an asset group should support the same product category, offer, or customer intent. The group is for running shoes. Don't mix in headlines about hiking boots or images about sandals and a video about winter coats. That's not an asset group, that's a garage sale. The cleaner the theme, the easier it is for Google to assemble the ads that make sense. Build the campaign. Now, once tracking is clean and the feed is healthy and you have some good assets, you can build the campaign. Set the objective to sales, not traffic, but sales, then double check the conversion actions. It's easy to assume that this is set correctly when it isn't. Purchase should be the primary action, as already mentioned. Secondary actions like add to cart or newsletter signups can still be tracked, but don't treat them as equal to purchases. Connect the right Merchant Center account. Sometimes there's a couple in there. Set locations to where you can actually sell and ship. If you only ship to the United States, don't target the whole world. Also, check the advanced location setting. You usually want to reach people physically in your market, not just people who showed interest in it. And on bidding, don't be too aggressive too early. Everyone wants great ROAS. But if you launch a campaign with a very demanding target, you limit it before it has room to learn. So start cautiously. Let the campaign collect data, and once performance is reliable, adjust the ROAS target upward, but just gradually. For asset groups, organize them in a way that reflects how people shop. By product category, seasonal collection, customer use case. Each group needs a clear job. Don't build one giant all products group and throw your whole store in there, and don't create a separate group for every single SKU. That usually creates more complexity than value. Think about meaningful clusters. Use custom labels on your products in your asset groups. Custom labels are extra fields in your feed that let you organize product in ways Google doesn't automatically know, like high margin, low margin, best sellers, clearance, seasonal, new arrivals, products with strong inventory, products you don't want pushed right now. A 10% margin product and a 60% margin product look the same to Google without that context. Custom labels fix that. Add audience signals, previous purchases, email subscribers, website visitors, cart abandoners. These aren't strict targeting, you're just giving Google a starting point. Here are the kinds of people that matter to us. Think of it like giving directions to someone new to the city. Start in this neighborhood, people like our customers tend to be around here. You can also add search themes, extra context about the kinds of searches that matter to your store. Don't confuse these with traditional keywords. You don't get the same control. Think of them as clues, not campaign settings. Finally, check your final URL expansion. This setting lets Google send people to pages it thinks are more relevant than you specified. Sometimes it finds a better product or collection page, but your site also has pages that should never receive paid traffic, like blog post or a privacy policy. Google's very talented at finding the one page you wish it had ignored. Review your exclusions, block the pages that don't belong in the customer journey. After launch, what to watch. Once the campaign is live, don't panic check every hour. Performance Max needs time to learn. Which products get attention? Which searches create value? Which creative combinations work? Which placements produce real revenue? So monitor the right things and start with purchases. Are real transactions coming through? Is revenue being reported correctly? Then look at ROAS, but not in isolation. Campaign can show a strong return while mostly collecting easy sales from people who are already going to buy. So check product level performance, which products are getting spend, and are they the right ones for your growth plan? Google can push what it thinks will convert, but doesn't always mean it pushes what your business most wants to sell. And this is where your custom labels earn their keep. Check your Merchant Center too for disapproved products, missing attributes, price mismatches, availability problems. These quietly limit your reach and are easy to miss if you only look at your campaign dashboard. Look at your search term insights. You won't get keyword level control like a traditional search campaign, but you see themes around your searches triggering your ads. Use this to judge whether Google is connecting your products to the right intent. Watch asset performance too, but carefully. Early labels can be misleading. Google marks something as low, it may not have had enough impressions yet. It may only be underperforming in one placement. So give assets time before replacing everything. And compare campaign performance to what's actually happening in the business. Are total store sales increasing? Are we getting new customers? That's the trap with Performance Max. It can look good in the dashboard while the campaign is mostly taking credit for sales that are already close to happening. The setting most store owners miss. Performance Max can show ads when someone searches directly for your brand name. On the surface, that sounds fine. Someone searches for your store, your ad shows up, they buy, Performance Max gives the credit. But that person already knew you. They'd already seen you on Instagram, read a review, visited your store 3 times. They were typing your exact brand name in because they were already planning to buy. And if Performance Max intercepts the sale at the last seconds, your ROAS looks great, but the campaign isn't creating new business. It's just standing near the checkout line with a clipboard saying, yep, that one's with me. This is one of the biggest traps with Performance Max reporting. Branded traffic does convert better. Someone searches your exact store, they search your exact name, and that's far warmer than someone searching a broad product category. So if the campaign captures a lot of branded searches, it can show a strong return while doing less prospecting than you think. The fix is brand exclusions. Brand exclusions tells Performance Max not to show ads for your branded searches. For a lot of stores, this gives you a more honest view of what the campaign is actually doing. Now, I'm not saying every campaign should immediately exclude branded terms, but you should understand how much branded traffic is influencing the campaign. So when you add brand exclusions, your ROAS might drop, and that can feel alarming, but it doesn't mean you made your campaign worse. It may mean that you made the campaign more honest. Before, Performance Max was getting credit for people who already knew you. Now it has to work harder, it has to find non-branded demand, and it has to prove it can grow your store, not just collect sales that were already close. And that is the difference between a campaign that looks good and a campaign that actually helps your business grow. That is how you use Performance Max the right way. Not as a magic button and not as a black box you're afraid to touch, but as a powerful system that needs clean inputs, smart structure, and the right guardrails. If you need help setting up your Google Ads campaigns, set up the right way for your store, Performance Max, shopping, tracking, Merchant Center, or figuring out why your campaigns spend money without producing good returns, reach out to me. We work with e-commerce stores on this every day, and we can get the right structure in place before Google starts making decisions with your budget. Check out the link in the description. All the best.